Hi,
Hello
Kim.
again. Hi.
Well, I'm glad that you came back for the final conversation. You are the capstone. You are the keynote. You are the end of it all. You are number 40 of 40.
I know
Congratulations.
the pressures. Oh, so
Oh,
intense.
you should feel, I expect excellence.
Oh no. Well, it's
I don't
late,
care.
so
I don't
I'm
care.
running
We
out of
laugh.
excellence.
Wait, we just won. Like that is good enough. We've just chuckled together and enjoyed a
That's
human
right.
connection. That is the ultimate win. So,
That's right.
why don't you introduce yourself and a bit about what you do as the head of global marketing at your layer one blockchain, and then I'll pepper you with a couple questions and we'll have some fun for a moment. So please go ahead and let us know a bit about your background and what you're currently up to.
Sure. Yeah, happy to. So my name is Kim Fournier. I'm head of global brand marketing for Conflux Network. We are a proof of work layer one blockchain. Um, We are based in Shanghai, China, and in Toronto, Canada. So we are a global blockchain. Um, our technology is very similar to Ethereum. We're EVM compatible, Solidity. Um, the main difference is our consensus mechanism. It's called a tree graph. And so it processes blocks in parallel, which basically wastes no blocks uh, in mining. And it also speeds up sort of the throughput, and it allows for scalability. So that's kind of the unique thing about Conflux. This was developed in a research lab in Shanghai. Our founder, Dr. Fan Long, um, he's amazing. He had the vision, I think, for Conflux and the strategy that um, I think he played it right. So we are basically the last blockchain standing in China at the moment, which is a good and a bad position to be in, because we did not do a public ICO, which was very strategic on Fan's part. We are the only regulatory compliant chain in China. So this gives us the opportunity to work with the Chinese government, with our enterprise chain and our public chain to a certain extent, to build out the key infrastructure. China outspends most other countries in blockchain research and development. And we've received funding from government of Shanghai, gave us $5 million and a beautiful research center. We just opened a branch of that research center in the Shanghai Free Trade Zone. We're exploring a lot of, I think, very, very innovative things with the Chinese government. The flip side of that is that crypto has been outlawed in China. So that's a challenge. Everything except NFTs, interestingly enough, which is why our whole global team will be at NFT NYC next week. Um, so in China, you can purchase an NFT with fiat, like a credit card or something, but at the moment you cannot resell it. And so all the bans in China around mining and cryptocurrency are really to avoid speculation and people losing money. Um, that is the government's motive, but at the same time, the government has its eye on global trade. And so Shanghai Free Trade Zone is one of the only free trade zones in China. It is the only free trade zone in China that has been given special permission by the Chinese government to explore an offshore RMB stablecoin. So they do have the digital yuan, but it is different. That is run through the People's Bank of China. So it's a centralized currency, essentially. It's not a cryptocurrency. So you can pay in China, with the yuan at McDonald's, at Starbucks, places like that. What we're doing is offshore RMB, with approval from the Chinese government. And the goal is to turn Shanghai into sort of a world-class global trade zone. And so that is sort of where our messaging came from. So my role at Conflux was primarily to help craft the messaging, the positioning for the Western audience, because taking a blockchain from China and trying to sort of translate that to the West in terms of how you grow community or how you do marketing or even branding, or, it's very, very different. The landscape in China is very, very different. We have a team in China that's excellent at what they do. And then we have our global team, and we do the rest of the world basically. So yes, we're here to drive awareness for Conflux outside of China, relaying the benefits of what we're doing in China, the innovation, fiat to NFT payments. There's a lot of things that we're building with the government there, that will eventually make their way to the public chain. The public chain outside of China, our goal is really emerging markets at the moment. That's what we're focusing on. Part of the reason we're going to NFT NYC is to launch a gallery and a grants program for emerging artists to help fund innovation in art. We're focusing right now in Latin America and Nigeria, but it's open to anyone. And I think interoperability is also something that's a big focus for us, having bridges with other chains. DeFi is banned in China, so all of the DeFi projects now fall on the global team. So it's an interesting and nuanced project, I will say that.
It's definitely unique. There's not other people that are in the same position, obviously, as you've mentioned. It comes obviously with some very, very strange challenges. The challenges that you face as the head of global marketing are different than the challenges that the legal team are facing and the executive, operations administrative team are facing, and certainly the challenges that the tech team are facing. When it comes to how you navigate these challenges with those that are on your team, and if you have, contractors, and as you're navigating these different elements, what do you keep focus on? But we have this going for us. Let's stay optimistic. This is all the great things happening. And then what are the hurdles that you have to manage expectations and say, hey, everybody, time out. Remember, we have these hurdles and we can't really go that direction. But as the head of global marketing, how do you keep focus on the optimism of where you have some win in your sales and just the reality of some of the challenges that you have to mitigate risk because of it?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. Our challenges are, I think, mostly in the United States, where we're up against a lot of other layer ones that don't sort of have the complicated, China government relationship. I think the key on our team and with our community outside China is the truth, getting the truth out. Fan, our founder, is very open, very honest, explains the Chinese landscape to us. We talk to him frequently. He's in China now, but he actually is a professor at the University of Toronto, so he'll be returning to Canada in the middle of November. And he keeps us updated, and he tells us the truth about what's going on in China, what they're working on, what he's trying to push through. He has a lot of sway with the Chinese government, and he knows how to get things done. And so taking that information and trying to relay that to the community, I think, has been the biggest win we've seen outside of China, because there's so much misinformation. People don't understand the difference between offshore RMB, onshore RMB, a decentralized stablecoin versus one that's centralized through a bank, central bank digital currency. And there's a lot of misinformation just about our chain. We get all the questions in social channels, are you a communist chain? And, all of those sorts of questions. And, no, we're a public, layer one blockchain. We're Ethereum compatible. We can be used as a layer 2. We're proof of work. We have a POS layer that we're integrating for extra security. There's just a lot of innovation on our chain. We're not yet even a year out from our mainnet launch, so we are very young in the space. And so a lot of people don't know who we are. And so it's the education, I think, but there's also, and I see it in our social channels and I see it in the questions reporters ask, there's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of the, but China banned crypto. That means that, you'll never succeed as a project. And no, it just means that our token can't be sold legally in China like every other token, but outside China, it's a different story. So there's a lot of education that we've been trying to do over the past year. We've gone through a rebranding, new website, new messaging, new positioning, a lot of partnerships, working with Chainlink, working with DeFi projects. Yeah, it's been an amazing learning experience for me, I think, coming from an Ethereum project originally and then going to a China-based project that's trying to break out globally, with a very specific agenda of, supporting global economy and cross-border payments and cross-protocol payments. And I think, it's been an amazing learning experience. I've learned more about China, I think, in the last 3 months specifically, because of the offshore RMB. I think when that news came out, it caused quite a stir with the community, because we had a lot of people saying, you're lying, it's outlawed in China, they would never support this. And it's sort of like, but they are supporting this. So, we have a lot of those kind of hurdles to get past, but our community has been so supportive, and we have grown like 10 times in the last, 2 months, I think. And we have, Italian communities popping up, French communities popping up. So it's been really, really nice to see.
Well, it's really good that at least you're there. It sounds like a lot of it has to do with your executive team, your founder, the ability to work, well within the regulations. And there's a lot of minds that you must have to navigate around in all aspects. Let me ask about the future for a bit, because one of the best ways to keep people's eye focused on doing great work today is to give them a vision for the hope of where we're going in the near future. So if you were to cast a vision of, like, let's say NFT 2024, you say, okay, 2 or 3 years from now, this is where we think the puck is going, and that's why we're skating in that direction. Where do you think the industry is leading? And specifically for your blockchain, what do you anticipate happening over the course of the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think I agree with the earlier comment from Rarible, which was about corporate NFTs. We are seeing that in China right now because NFTs are not illegal in China, so they can be purchased. Just at the moment, they cannot be resold. So we just launched, actually, we did a collaboration with McDonald's in China, and we're going to be giving away a McDonald's NFT at NFT NYC, one of 188 in the world. So yeah, somebody's going to get very lucky if they win that. But it's a Rubik's Cube of the McDonald's building, so it's a very, very cool NFT. And we are in talks with a lot of other leading fashion brands, luxury sports cars, things like that, in China, who, because we're the last chain standing, want to launch corporate NFTs on Conflux. And I think our founder's vision, beyond turning Shanghai into a global trade port and really focusing on helping emerging markets get a leg up in the crypto economy, I think the NFT space for us is going to look probably more towards the secondary market. I think offering a secondary market to China where they can legally resell NFTs, or even list their NFTs for sale, and having some kind of integration with like an OpenSea or something like that. I think so, being able to sort of close the gap a little bit between East and West, while NFTs are the only legal thing that can be acquired in China, it's really a golden opportunity for us. So I think 2024, I would imagine we would have a very active primary market, a very, very active secondary market. We would have global currency, the offshore RMB as our stable coin, and RMB CFX pair on exchanges. All of this is kind of what we're talking about now, actually. So, and it will probably take a while to get there, although we are testing the offshore RMB right now. But NFTs for us is a huge area of focus, because I think that is especially in emerging markets. I think empowering emerging markets and artists in emerging markets is what we're about, and giving them the opportunity to sell their art and showcase their art. And I think my first exposure to NFTs was when I was working at Status Incubate, and Super Rare was one of the projects that we worked with on our incubator. And it's not that long ago. And I remember, doing talks with them, and we were sit around and say, like, how do we explain to people what an NFT is? Like, no one's going to understand it. And this is probably like 2018. So it's just amazing the growth that has happened in that short period of time. And then looking at Super Rare now, it's mind blowing. They're an amazing bunch, and congrats to them. They've done an amazing job. But yeah, there's so much more room in this space to grow, and I think especially globally, I think that there is a need for a global NFT market, and that's, I think, hopefully a role that we can slide into.
I'm inspired. Thanks. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.
Any final word for the community before you jump out?
No, just, we'll be there next week. We have a booth. We're platinum sponsors. So stop by our booth, enter to win McDonald's NFT, learn about Conflux. We'll be giving a 2-hour dev workshop on our tech, and a little bit of history about our chain. And yeah, just stop by and say hi and meet our global team.
I look forward to it. And I look forward to spending
Yeah.
time with you here at NFT NYC. And I'm very thankful that your team's come to be a part of this with us. And so I'll see you very soon.
We're thrilled. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.